Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 25th. Video number 2 on the day today. I just wanted to go over a few things here. Quick update on what's coming here as we go through the weekend. And we'll watch tomorrow morning to see if the confidence does increase. Looks like we have some interesting weather potentially headed our way. But right now we've got this frontal system moving down across California, bringing some light precipitation with it. Actually had a couple thunderstorms there. If you look closely on the infrared satellite imagery, you can see the flashes there, bringing some snowfall to some of the higher Sierra Nevada here. That should continue on into this evening. And then this very cold air mass is going to sag south across much of the Intermountain West, including California, cooling things down, but it's going to bring some high pressure with it and some offshore winds. And we're going to really bring some Santa Ana winds here as we go on in through the day Sunday. I'll show you some of those details here in a moment. This is Eureka, California. Check it out. You got freeze watches, hard freeze warnings, winter weather advisory. So you name it, you got it out here across some of Northern California with this colder air mass moving in. This is Hanford National Weather Service. You can see Tioga Pass up there, 2 to 4 inches. Most of this accumulation will be occurring above 8,000 feet. Kind of a nice early season snowfall there. But this was issued this morning here. And here we are with the elevated fire weather conditions here. Got some sundowner winds, and then you're going to turn into the Santa Ana winds as we go through Sunday. Some gust 50 miles per hour. And I think that this event's probably going to be a little bit stronger than that, and definitely stronger than the last one we had. And you guys know the drill here on how to take precautions on reducing fire activity here. So this was issued this afternoon, and we're going to look at this again tomorrow and kind of see how the confidence trends on this upcoming situation, because you can see back in 2003 fire spread rapidly into San Diego proper due to extreme Santa Ana winds. So we have a potential Santa Ana wind event here coming up. So it's best to prepare now and just kind of make sure that we're not going to add to any potential fire danger here across the region. Now, looking here, you got Washington, Oregon, California. This is mean sea level pressure. So if I put this into motion, you see this high pressure kind of dropping down across the Great Basin. If any of you guys took any meteorology 101 here, especially across California, you know what this means. That high pressure here is going to try to push its way off through the gaps and over the higher terrain and out over some of California here. And it can warm things up and really dry things out, especially towards the coastline, and bring some very gusty winds through the canyons and the pass area here. And you can kind of see that high pressure slide all the way down here, then towards the Gulf of Mexico even. And I'll show you an interesting feature that can lead to as well, kind of related here. But yeah, you can see this high pressure building over the Great Basin, and that's what would lead to that Santa Ana wind event coming up here on Sunday. Now, looking here, you got the European on the left versus the GFS on the right. What we're looking at here on the right is the wind at about 2,500 feet. And again, we're looking at mean sea level pressure here again on the left. So Arctic air mass starts to settle down across much of the west here, shown by this high pressure. And you can really see it build in as we go on in towards Saturday. Look at that, just kind of setting up over Nevada and Oregon, and Idaho here. And you can see these winds powerfully flowing off the coastline here through the gaps and canyons. That is a Santa Ana wind event. Brings very dry conditions. And although this is not going to be a very warm Santa Ana wind event here, as this air mass is very cold moving down across the area, you can still bring very low relative humidities and still going to be a little bit warm here. And, that can cause some fire danger with the very low relative humidity. And sometimes it takes just a spark to spawn some nasty firestorms with the Santa Ana winds, as you know, if you've lived in Southern California for any length of time. Now, looking at the GFS on the left and the GFS on the right, kind of an interesting feature. I just want to point this out really quickly here, but you're looking at Mexico, and this big dome of high pressure is sometimes it slides all the way down across Texas and out over the Gulf of Mexico. And look at the wind associated with that high pressure as it slides down here. There's a feature in the terrain here. Tehuantepec winds, I believe is how you pronounce it, if I remember correctly. But you can see that high pressure pushing down against the higher terrain of Mexico, and it goes through this terrain gap. And look at the very strong winds that can emerge out over the Pacific Ocean here. Some very strong winds and a very strong wind gradient here. So mariners along the coastline here can really be in calm conditions and then just run into winds that are over 80 miles per hour, sometimes in excess of 100 miles per hour. So kind of an interesting feature with that high pressure system that will bring us Santa Ana winds here across a lot of California, and this will eventually sag south across the Gulf of Mexico here, leading to those winds down there. It's always one of my favorite features there. But now looking at the European, the 12Z, this is this morning's run, accumulated max 10-meter wind gust. If I put this into motion, you can see some of these stronger winds showing up here, especially as we go on in towards, this is Saturday night, and look at some of these offshore winds. These are northeasterly winds, but some of these gusts are up over 60 miles per hour for some of the northern Sierra Nevada here. And then look at the big gusts showing up across some of the canyons and valleys here across Southern California. So we're going to iron out some of the details, and we're going to be looking at the high resolution models as this event gets a little bit closer here. But yeah, we do have this offshore wind event coming up. And I want to show you here 2-meter temperature anomaly also. This is this afternoon's, or actually late morning's European run, I should say. And look at this very cold air mass move down across the Intermountain West. You can clearly see it here, but of course associated with that is that high pressure. And so you can see the compressional heating as this moves off the higher terrain. And of course, as you bring some mass down across the area, you compress it, you heat it, you dry it out, and you can see the warmer temperatures along the coastline there and the very chilly air across the interior here. Although it's just slightly going to be above average. It's not a major heat wave just because the source air is very cold that's going to be flowing out through the canyons and the gaps across California. Now, looking at 850 millibars, 5,000 feet, you got Washington, Oregon, California, there's Montana there. And look at this Arctic air just pouring into Montana. And watch this just set up over the Intermountain West. And that's what's associated with that high pressure, bringing the Santa Ana winds here. But yeah, big time Arctic air moving down across the lower 48 in late October. Pretty incredible sight there. Pretty abnormal for this time of year. All that does happen from time to time. Now, I want to show you the precipitable water on the GFS. This is actually hot off the press. It's running as we speak, in fact. And you can see that frontal system draped across California. Not a big precipitation maker there, but it did bring those thunderstorms and some snow for the higher terrain. But as this slides down across the area, you can see it quickly being replaced with some drier air. And then watch what happens here as we scroll on in towards the weekend. And Sunday is the day we're looking for here as far as the Santa Ana wind event. But you can see the very cold, dry air move down across the Intermountain West. And this is going to be flying off through the terrain features here and even drying out further as it gets towards the coastal area. So look at that extreme change between, this is what, about Wednesday afternoon shown there. And then if we back up, you can see what's coming here by the time we get towards Sunday evening shown here. Some very dry air moving over the region here. So we got to watch out for fire danger during that time frame. A quick look here at the extended forecast. You can see that frontal system draping down across California. Not a big precipitation maker again, as I said. And then we have the high pressure move down over the area. And then it looks like the westerlies start to get cranky. And again, the big question is how much of this activity is going to include California, as you see some interesting systems moving up into the Pacific Northwest, possibly clipping northern portions of California here, and pretty strong storm about 9 days out now here on the European model here. And we'll see, keep watching this to see if any kind of atmospheric river activity will start to target California as we go through the early portion of November. But we'll look at that. We've got plenty of time to watch that as we go day by day. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow morning, and we'll check out the Santa Ana winds. We'll check out the local forecast and see if the confidence increases in this event. Right now, pretty high confidence that some semblance of the Santa Ana winds are going to be going on here. Just how strong will it be? We're just not quite sure just yet, but it has potential to be a pretty strong event coming up here. So anyway, we'll revisit that again tomorrow morning. Thanks to all my new members of the page here. And I'm going to be doing I'll be doing a weather station giveaway for this channel here coming up in the next few days also. So look forward to that. I'll probably try to do my first live stream. I'm still getting things set up. I just got approved to do live streams here. So I'll be setting that up here in the next couple of days. I'll give away some more coffee mugs, and we got to ship a couple out tomorrow here for the first 2 winners. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are liking this channel. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.